Hey guys, Nick here. In today's video, we're going to be discussing the major COVID-19 tech school changes, what's happening now versus what was happening back then. If you're new to the channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if this video helps you out at all, please go ahead and leave it a like. So one major change happening right now that wasn't happening back then is we are no longer required to march at the moment because of the whole pandemic going on. So back then you used to have to march to and from the schoolhouse every single day and to and from the dining facility. Pretty much as long as you were in uniform and the duty day was going on, you were required to march everywhere. Right now, we have to just simply walk to class, simply walk to the dining facility, and no marching is required. But the Army, however, is marching to and from school, to and from the dining facility, and everywhere they go on the duty day. So it won't be long until the Air Force eventually picks that back up again and we have to start marching. Another major change going on right now is you obviously have to wear your mask at all times and especially in class. So while you're in class for 8 hours a day, you are required to have your mask on at all times. So you'll be sitting next to classmates, your friends and all of that, but you always have to have your mask on. The instructors will yell at you and tell you to put your mask back on because they are required to have you wearing this mask at all times. I don't know how long it's going to be until the military no longer has to wear masks, but until we get a vaccine and the coronavirus is not going on, we will more than likely have to wear a mask every single day. It is now a part of our uniform pretty much. During this pandemic, we also have no formations going on, and we also have no commander's calls or big briefings because they don't want to group us all up in a tight space and brief us all and talk to us. So most of our commander's calls and most of our big briefs are done on Zoom. So they get us all to join in on a Zoom call and we just all do it online via live stream and all of that. So there is no big formations, no commander's calls. And back then we would have a commander's call every month or so, and they would get you all together and discuss what is going on and what is going bad and brief you on it. So right now that is not going on. One thing that has been resumed is PT. About a month or two ago, we weren't doing PT at all because of the pandemic, but now we are back at it and doing PT twice a week. We'll be doing PT twice a week, waking up at about 4:30 in the morning, and that has been resumed. So that leads me to believe that marching and all the other requirements that are going on right now are going to be resumed later on. Another sucky thing that is happening right now is you are not allowed to off base at all during the duty day. It used to be if you were the correct phase, you were allowed off base based on your phase, and based on the phase, you were allowed off for a certain amount of time. But right now, no time during the week are you allowed off base. So if you haven't already, please go ahead and check out my videos on the phases, how the phases work, and all about that. If you'd like to learn more about when you're allowed to go off base, all the rules you have to follow in the correct phases, and how you earn these privileges to actually go off base, see your family, and do all these other things. Also, with the correct phase, you are allowed to go off base on the weekend, stay off base all weekend long. If you were phase 2 or phase 3, you were allowed to stay off to 12 a.m. or had no curfew at all and just had to be back on base before class starts the next duty day. As of right now, we have to be back on base at 7 p.m. Back then, you were allowed to go out, go off to hotel rooms, go explore wherever you were staying at, and you only had to be on base before curfew or before your next duty day to show back up at school. Right now, it's back to 7 p.m., but that is way better than not being allowed off base at all. 2 months ago, we weren't even allowed to go off base, see anything, and we were all trapped on base 24/7. So it is freeing up a little bit of the rules and limitations, and who knows when the curfew will even be lifted completely, but that probably won't be until a coronavirus vaccine is found, or maybe until the coronavirus ceases to exist, which might be never. Another major thing going on right now that is not as bad is they used to house people on my base 3 to a room, and right now we are only housed 2 to a room to limit our exposure to the coronavirus. So that is one good thing. You will have less roommates, but there is also another thing going on, and they are pretty much getting a boatload of people in at certain times, which might bring back 3 to a room, but they are trying to limit that. That is why a lot of people's ship times and BMT dates are getting delayed because they don't want to have a whole bunch of people in the same room and at tech school all at the same time. So now at the dining facility, they used to have us sitting every other seat to limit our exposure to getting COVID-19, but now they have placed these see-through shielded dividers in between every single seat in the dining facility to limit your exposure from COVID-19. So every time you are eating either breakfast, lunch, or dinner, you will be sitting in between these see-through dividers. That is one major change going on in the dining facility. So those are pretty much your major COVID-19 changes happening at tech school in the Air Force right now. If this video helped you out at all, please leave it a like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll catch you guys next week with another video.